Charles, your lip is stuck. Look up here. Oh, yeah, no, it's still stuck. I can still see your teeth. Oh, are you trying to get it unstuck? I think you did. Although it's still a little stuck. You're so cute, Jody. You also look very sleepy. Well guys, good evening and happy Wednesday to all of your sunshiny faces. Guys, more work got done upstairs. So Jack got a whole nother wall pretty much ripped out. Well, what we're still dealing with upstairs is we still have the roof to finish. Well, not the roof, the ceiling to finish. And then one wall that has got a lot of electrical wires on it. Basically, there's like at least 2 outlets, I think, on every wall. The one that we're dealing with, which is where the stairs come up, there's 3 doors, 2 that go into the attic, 1 that comes from up the top of the stairs. Then there's a light switch. There's also 2 dials for the electric baseboard heaters that are upstairs. And then there's another outlet at the bottom of like the underneath the light switch sort of. And then on the other side of the light switch, there's also on the other side of the wall though, there is a light where it's for like the upstairs, like the top of the stairs, there's a light before you actually get into the upstairs room. So we also have potentially that we have to deal with. And so Jack was very nervous today. He didn't end up wanting to use the which he was doing a perfectly fine job today, using the what's it called, the sawzall. And so he was just like slicing away at the drywall, and we were able to get the roof, well, I keep saying roof, the ceiling on the one side that sloped. He ended up getting all of that taken out and pulled down. It's just the flat part now that we still have to finish. And the wall again that is against, so it's like kind of curves. It's flat for a point, and then it goes this way, and then it goes that way, and that's where the other door is. So there's kind of like that section, but it's like that, you know, that end of the house, but it's not completely flush, if that makes sense, because it does go in a little bit, like maybe about 2 feet, and then on that side it's like flat again. So like it kind of juts out a little bit at the top of the stairs. So like I said, Jack, he finished that wall though, except for there's one little square right above the door where he was having a real trouble getting to, and the only reason is because that all has very new insulation in it, and it's not damaged or anything like that, except Jack was using the sawzall. He did slice right through one section of it, so we are gonna have to replace that. But that was all very, very new stuff that we want to actually keep and save. Some of the other stuff was older, or it had damage to it, or it had holes in it where, you know, from like the either from us tearing it out, or also too from us like from like outlets and things like that that we're going to move. So it doesn't make sense to keep that stuff. So like I said, there's a handful of it that needed to be replaced anyway. We're just gonna do it, and like everything around the windows we're just gonna redo, but all the stuff that's like in the interior part of the attic, that was all fairly new. So I don't know if they replaced it like when we moved in, like the people right before us, or like what, because they left most of the insulation in the attic. It was just always never, like they never finished insulating the attic, like a half, and not even half. It's like random spots in the attic are insulated, which makes me think there was probably some kind of leak, because we do know that they replaced the roof right before we moved in. So we think that there was like a leak as well, that again, they just like, you know, ended up taking out the insulation, and then they put new stuff up, but they didn't finish putting new stuff up, or they had put new stuff up possibly and then had to take it down because they were having leaks and problems, and then they, you know, just only had some of it up because it's in very random spots in the attic. But again, too, where the like interior parts, like the room that's upstairs touches the attic, all of that is like new. It's like brand new. So like, I mean, we've also lived here for 20 years, so it's not brand new, but we didn't put it up. It was definitely, like I said, they probably did right before we moved in. So we've lived here for 20 plus years actually. But anyways, so again, we took, well, okay, so the big thing though that we were doing today was we had to get everything out to our bagster, which is like the dumpster that they're coming to haul. You know, like instead of getting a dumpster, we're getting these, they look like giant like grocery bags. Basically they have 2 handles. They come and they basically just use like a crane kind of thing, pick it up, put it in the back. However, we are going to have to get a second one because we filled up the first one, and we still haven't finished with the ceiling and the one other wall, and there's still some insulation that we still have to take down. So my dad's gonna have to get that tomorrow, but I put everything in bags that was like insulation and like loose little pieces of like drywall. All the big pieces though, my dad and Jack were just taking out, and then as I was filling up bags, which there was a couple bags that were already filled up, but as I was filling up those bags, they ended up taking those out as well. I don't know exactly how many of them we have, but we do have, like I said, quite a few. And again, once we finish probably with the last one section of wall and the ceiling and the last of the I think there's only, actually the only insulation I didn't take down was the stuff that Jack just ripped the drywall off today. All the other walls were done. And on top of that too, I also took out all of the nails and screws and a lot of the staples even that were from the what's it called, the like the insulation. You like staple the insulation down. I took out a handful of those too because they were all like sticking out, and so I took all of that out, like the drywall nails as well that were in like the wood. I took all that stuff out so that we can obviously have the new drywall hung, and there's not, you know, you can't have the nails in there, the old ones. So I went around and took all that down except for over the double window. I think I was telling you guys, Jack couldn't get that stuff out for some reason, and I think he might be able to now that he has the Sawzall, because that was while he was trying to do everything by hand yesterday before my dad gave us the power tools. But there was, like I said, just the one section over the window that he didn't finish, which again, he could probably actually do now, but we didn't finish that. But we're going to have to, again, most likely still finish that, and then I'll have to take out the nails and screws from there. But other than that, 3 of the flat walls, I finished taking out all the screws and all the nails. Except for Jack had a bunch of, like what's it called, not insulation, the drywall he had up against the wall. I don't know why, like, because my dad was like, oh well, you can break that down smaller, we can still fit some more stuff still in this one bag. But I don't know why he was like, he left it sitting there, so I couldn't get to it because I didn't know why he left it there. So that was the only little section too that I didn't finish. Other than that, I've taken out all of the nails, like I said, on 3 of the 4 walls. I didn't do the sloped roof, and like I said, I didn't do the one section, which he had it like underneath the window, so that's the only spot I didn't do. And then again, to the one other spot that's over the window on the other side, I didn't take all of that. So my job wasn't too complicated. It was bagging stuff and taking out nails and screws today. But again, Jack did all of the, I think, more physical labor in, you know, cutting up all the drywall and tearing it all down. So we got a bunch of that done today, and we were doing all that. It took us, we were working for maybe about 2 hours again today, maybe a little bit more than that. The hauling stuff outside, I think, took them probably a lot more time. It was a much more tedious job, but again, we were having trouble, like we couldn't walk around in the room because we had so much of it. So we got that set up and all the garbage that's in it, which is supposed to rain. I think I was telling you guys, we were trying to avoid it because we know it was supposed to rain. It's supposed to rain on Friday. It's supposed to get a really bad like thunderstorm, and then Saturday, the weird thing is, it's never going to be lower than, you know, like the highs for this week are going to be like, nothing's going to be below 50. So we're in like 50s and 60s all this week for high, which is really awesome. And then the lows, still, I didn't see any day that was going to be like below 30, you know, and that's like obviously at night, which is again really cool. However, for some reason on Saturday we're supposed to get snow. I don't know how that's possible when, like I said, it's supposed to be really warm, and but I don't know if it's going to be like, because that, like, you know, we're supposed to get like a really bad thunderstorm, so it's like cold front, you know, whatever, and because of that, like, we're supposed to get possible snow, but it's again not supposed to get cold. Like I don't know, some weird spherical stuff I don't know anything about. I know about a lot of stuff. I know how to take drywall down. I know how to, I don't know anything about like the weather. But anyways, guys, back to the project upstairs. Like I said, we got a lot done, but my dad wasn't able to help us today. He actually had something going on, so he was helping Jack haul the stuff outside into the, the bagster, and then he, like I said, was like, they were moving the drywall and the bags and stuff like that, which it took them a lot of trips. And at one point too, though, there was a like stack of stuff that I was like, this is gonna take them forever to move. Jack took it in one stinking trip out there. I was like, I guess this is why he works out, for like still working out and lifting and stuff like that, even though he doesn't have to, because he's not going to be in football for the high school next year, but he's still working out with all of them in like that group that will be in like the school next year. Like he's still like weight training with them, and so like, it's funny too, because one of the coaches said something like, oh, make sure you guys like there's no weightlifting like over spring break, but make sure you guys are like staying active and stuff like that. And Jack's like, I can definitely bring pictures and show them everything that I've been doing, because I don't think anybody else is going to say that they've been lifting like 50 pounds of stinking drywall down the stairs and hauling it outside. Like that was how heavy that stack of stuff that he brought outside was. And I was like, because I was lifting each piece to stack it into the pile, and I thought like they were just going to take the piles in pieces. And Jack took the entire pile and just left with it. And I was like, okay, be careful, lift with your knees, So again, he ended up going down there. He got it all outside. He had to keep asking my mom to open the door for him though, because again, they had to go and haul it out and then around and everything. So it was a little bit of a trip, but again, they got all that stuff done. That was like the big sort of project today. Anything else as far as kind of tearing other stuff down was just kind of extra. And like I said, at that point we were kind of working on our own with the tearing the stuff down, because my dad, like I said, he had something that was going on this afternoon that he had to do. So he wasn't, like I said, just other than bringing the stuff outside, he wasn't able to help too much else today. But like I was telling you guys too, we're thinking that potentially tomorrow we might be able to finish the ceiling, and then also too, my dad might be able to kind of, Jack just wants to like sort of know where like is safe, and then he can probably like, and my dad can do some of the cutting too, because he'll know where like things are, then like Jack can just kind of tear the stuff out as well. And like I was even doing that too, because I could go into the attic and see from the other side where the electric was. So I made holes for him and was like, okay, like this area is safe. But then he was like, okay, like can I still like cut here and that kind of stuff. So he was still like working on it, but then we were just like, okay, like we'll kind of be done for today, because again, we kind of used up our, like I said, it was like 2 to 3 hours or so, and we were kind of like, okay, it was getting close to dinner time too, so we're tired and sore. And again, we had the windows open, and again, because it's like nice outside, I love getting that like fresh air. I'm wearing like 2 masks also because of all the drywall dust and everything like that, and because my one mask doesn't fit right, it like doesn't, it's too big for my face, so I'm wearing like a smaller mask over like in the inside, and then my like heavy duty one like over the top of it, and so those were the ones I was wearing, but like I said, it's hard to breathe through 2 masks. And then we had the window open, but it like just felt like spring kind of as well, and we're getting all this stuff done, but it wasn't like cold, and like I was still sweating upstairs. So again, it's like nice out, like it's not super hot out, but it's not super cold. It's nice enough where if we open the window, we kind of get, like I said, it keeps it a little bit cooler upstairs for us while we're working, which is nice. But there's no heat and there's no air conditioning right now upstairs, because everything is disconnected and we moved everything. And so like I said, and it's not going to be, which is really nice. We're gonna keep, kind of like I was saying, nothing really below freezing kind of for the most part for the rest of this week. But I'm thinking that again too, depending on how long it takes for us to get well, Friday, we're having somebody come out to look to see about doing new insulation and hanging the drywall and how that's gonna look. But again, too, we might be looking at possibly, depending on when he's available, like the week after that, really, you know, we could probably move my parents upstairs. So if like he could do it by next week, like he's gonna come out on Friday, if he kind of like gives us a quote and schedules and we could do it by like next week or the following week, that week after, we might be able to get my parents upstairs, back into their room and their my mom's office kind of space, which would be cool. So anyways, though, I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of our sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.